How's everyone doing today? Welcome to YouTube Live here. We're Mobility Mondays here at the Aquatic Center. So Sean Fitzgerald, one of the trainers here. So like always, go ahead, like, subscribe, and see what kind of information we got there, and see what else we can share, and kind of chit chat and kind of experiment on. So, like always, we're kind of working on a different section of the body here and see what we can do. So we're moving on, and we're going to move into basically say your lower part of your arm. So like right around your forearms and right around into your wrist, right? So that's what we're going to take a look at today. So, if we kind of chit chat and talk about, some issues that, some people might have around here, is take a look at, if you guys got little ones, or if you know anyone that has little ones, like what do they start doing, once they start, getting a little bit more mobile, right? So when they move, they're constantly, right? We're always grabbing. So, everyone kind of starts at different stages, right? But let's just do for, simple math, we'll say 1, right? At the age of 1, we're starting to, grab. So, you think about it, you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you've been grabbing constantly for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, right? So you think about that as constant flexion, right? So did you ever think that maybe extension might have to happen, right? So, when you take a look at, sometimes a lot of your hands are kind of going like this, it's because we're constantly grabbing. So we need to focus on really working and extending and kind of helping that. So we're going to do a couple exercises in here, a couple brief ones, a couple quick ones to get us through on our day. So I'm going to have you come on down here, and literally everywhere that we can start is, we don't need equipment, right? We can literally do just about anywhere and everywhere, gym, home, office if you're able to, and things like that. So all we're going to basically do is kind of start with, with just a simple little wrist kind of movement that we do. And I'm going to put my hands right here on the floor, right? And I'm kind of in my quadruped stance, but I'm going to turn my wrists so they're out like this. And I'm going to really work on trying to spread my fingers, really. If you take a look, like I want my fingers spread as wide as I can. And really what we're going to do is, I'm just going to kind of lean to the left. And it's going to put a lot of pressure. It's going to be uncomfortable, but, you go to where, it's tolerable. We want a little bit of discomfort, but not pain, right? We're going to lean to the right. And all this is really all that we're doing right now is just kind of moving, putting some pressure back to the left on your wrist to really kind of get them moving, probably in a way that you never really actually had them move before, right? And we're going to go to the right. And all of this is literally to tolerance, right? So if you have wrist issues, clearly we're not going to be doing that, right? Like, so you got some fractures, you got some arthritis, you might not be able to get down in that position. That's fine, right? So you just, if it hurts, you don't do it. It's literally that simple that we have to, focus on. So simple, kind of, like I'm literally moving back and forth, and that's probably a movement that you'd actually never really done before. So, it's something to give a try, something to kind of work around and see what feels good. And, you can go in there and we'll advance probably next week on some more things. So one little simple one. So here we got one. I got my hands here and circles. I'm literally just doing circles with my wrist. I'm going clockwise and counterclockwise, right? That you're right here, along here are, your wrist, your wrist should be able to move, right? It's supposed to. Flexion, extension, it goes into all the different planes, right? So circles, when you're thinking about it, like right here, my right one's a little tight, a little looser. I can feel that, right? So I'm going to put that in my mind, be like, all right, well, maybe I need to work a little more with my right than I need to do with my left. So those are the things you want to pick up on, is how your body is kind of adapting and reacting to what, you are kind of doing with. So, and then another one, I'm literally taking my hand, right? And I'm just push back, working on getting my fingers to kind of extend, not be in a flex state. So, this is just a simple little kind of exercise to help kind of battle that constant, flexion state, and go from there. So right now, I'm going to use my kind of leg as a support, and literally all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take and do a couple of wrist curls. So you can do this with a weight, you can do this without a weight, you can do it with a band, a kettle, like anything that you got. Like, I'm just doing it with nothing right now, and all I'm doing is just working and just bringing my wrist up, and I'm, it's coming into my forearm, so I'm doing a little bit of wrist movement and kind of, building a little bit here. So, and then I'm going to flip over, and I'm just going to bring my arm down. So I'm going to feel it, say in the top part of your arm, right? So this is same thing. You can mix it up, and you can do time limits. You can do a rep scheme. If you're doing weights, I would, do reps. If you're going to just use a band or something, you can be like, I'm going to go for 30 seconds. Test it out, see how it feels, see what works and what doesn't work for you, right? That's literally what this is all about. So, what does and what doesn't work. If you're using weights, it's going to probably feel a little different. So it's going to be a little bit, maybe more uncomfortable. So, play around, take time, see what works and what doesn't work for you, right? So, literally, then you can I'm just rotating, right? I'm just kind of rotating and kind of feeling, seeing what works, see what doesn't work, and see how it feels. Does it bother you when I'm here, and if I roll out, where does it bother me, right? So those are things that you're going to want to play with and see what works and what doesn't work, and really kind of what bothers you and what doesn't bother you, right? So because if you find an area that kind of aggravating, well, if you're going to the doctor and you're saying, hey, I'm having these pains or whatever, and if you've done a couple of exercises and you're like, hey, when I go in this range, or if I do this motion, this is what bothers me, this is how it feels, but if I do this, like that will help literally, your PT, the doctor, anything like that, like actually probably help narrow down something that could actually make more sense, and then it's not a guessing game of putting you through the steps and seeing what works and what doesn't work. So, a couple of exercises, a couple of tidbits, hope that kind of helps a little bit, kind of, there's a couple more that we'll do. We're going to challenge that next week, a couple of more to make it a little tougher and kind of experiment with and things that you can do. But, I hope these couple of exercises really, can literally be done anywhere and just kind of get you thinking that I got to do maybe a little bit more with my forearms, maybe a little bit more with my wrist, like see how that feels and see if I can get a little bit more extension in instead of constant flexion. So, like always, thanks for tagging along, and I hope everyone had a really good weekend, and it's Monday, so start of the work week, and I hope, so far everything's going good. So Monday blues are just mindsets. Remember that. So don't worry, the work week will be fine. Weekend was great, and I'll be coming around again, and you can have another good weekend again. So like always, go ahead, like, subscribe, and forever in the Upper Valley, come on in, have a little chit chat with us. And like always, if you need anything, always drop us a line. All right, y'all have a good one.